What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Larry, and you can see we actually moved around my desk a bit, and now you can actually see more of some of my collection and some other stuff. Uh, we are rearranging the bedroom a bit. We got two new dressers coming in, which are going to be pretty much going to be right below where the boards there end. And it's going to go over there, but all that's going to be moved out of the way. That's just a temporary home. Um, because for the longest time I had those sitting underneath my big desk here. I'm trying to get myself more centered. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I want to be seen. Uh, Also, if you want a quick look at all the other stuff, here's some stuff above the TV. The Iron Galahorn from McFarlane, Destiny, Destiny 1, the Power Lance, Dragon Dagger, Power Daggers, Power Sword, and Morpher from Lightning Collection, plus my two Bruce Lee uh, Ultimates from Wave 1, all up there. And of course, all my other Power Ranger Ultimates, all throughout those cabinets, except for that bottom shelf with some original Xbox games, 360 games, Switch games. Sorry, I'm a little congested. I get this way after I eat. But yeah, so welcome everyone. But yeah, this is Let's Open Toys. I am Larry on for channel Larry's Geeky World, and if you don't know by the thumbnail, which I'll bring that back up. Uh, see here. Where am I looking at? There we are. That's what we're doing today. We are opening some toys, and as you can see, we got a few different things. Like I said, I am congested. It is driving me nuts. I'm trying not to snort or anything. Uh, but you see, I got this is a big bad toy store haul that came in from my pile of loot, and of course, as soon as I shipped it out, some more pre-orders just happened to pop into it after. So I'll have to set those up because everything else I have on pre-order won't be shipping out for another almost year or so. Uh, but go over here. All right. So I haven't used any of the new features yet. I'm probably going to. But first thing we're going to do, we're going to start with the Masters of the Universe Thundercat figures. And I've been looking forward to these. If you don't know, I've got that big cat slayer in the other room. Still trying to find a more permanent place. We've been rearranging, redoing the whole house for the last several months, and it feels like we're not getting anywhere, except for like right now we're in the bedroom. We do got a bunch of Billy bookcases we put up in the dining area for that display. You can check out those photos on my Instagram at Larry's Geeky World. But yeah, let's go ahead and start cracking these guys open. We'll start with Lion-O here. I do have the whole first wave. I would say hello to the chat, but no one's speaking. Say hi. I'm very approachable. Anyway, so let's go ahead and open these guys up. And you can tell packaging very Motu, because it's all made by Mattel. This is the only crossover I've picked up for the Masters that they've done. Skipped out on the, what was it, the turtle one they're doing right now? Lower the camera. She says, lower the camera. That better? That better? I'm going to crack this open here. Ugh. I need to turn the AC up. Oh, and the damn mini comic fell out. All right. So yeah, we got him open here. Comes with a little instruction pamphlet. I'm not going to keep these boxes. They're pretty good on there. But let's look at what was behind Lion-O and see how he is packaged in here. He would be strapped down here. We'll take a quick look at the mini comic. Masters of the Universe Thundercats, Third Eternia on the back. as the 3 basic figures on the back. But the whole part 1 story, I'm not going to go over and read it all. But, you can see all that. Really nice artwork. You also get a look at Panthro a little bit and some bit of Tigra, which is right there, and what their Motu outfits look like, which isn't showing how they get them. Of course, we get a little bit of He-Man there, of course. You can't do this without He-Man showing up. And, of course, Skeletor turning into Skeletor. Looks like he merges these 2 swords together, which makes sense because in this picture shows He-Man with his basic power sword, but the figure comes with like a merged version of the Sword of Omens. Excuse me. But that's cool. I'll have to read it through it later, see exactly what's going on. But it doesn't say it's part 1 or part 2 or anything, so not sure exactly how that's going on there, story-wise. But we're going to try to pop. Everything is scrapped. You know what? I just put all my little tools and stuff away. Where are my nippers? You know, we're just going to use these and see if we can't. I don't lose my parts here. Use this semi-trusty toenail clippers as I was using for the longest time. Now I have proper little nippers. Cut these little bits off. See, like everything is scrapped in here. The sword. Actually, yeah, the feet of the figure. That's like the only, well, around the wrist of the figure. What's up, John? How's it going? Oh, I probably should have started with the news. I'm glad you're here. I had a little incident after the last live stream with the model kit. Like right after I got offline, I don't have to go back to the footage, but I'm not sure what happened. But unfortunately, part of his antenna there broke off. Yeah, here's the other part. So that was disconcerting. So I had to find some way of fixing that. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. Actually, I see a bit of a nick on here again. Still sick but coughing less. Well, that's good to hear, man. Glad you're starting to feel somewhat better. Yeah. So gotta figure out some way of fixing this though, because I want to finish this build, and we will get back to that. Should be next week because I don't have anything else coming in. So we got was it 1, 2, 3, 7 figures, but only 6 of them were in the thumbnail to open. So, but yeah, all first 4 figures for this Motu Thundercats, and I'm feeling like I'm taking forever to nip these little bits off today. There we go. I'll go ahead and get that off of there. Probably should play some music. Let's play some music. It feels like it's too quiet. Let's get some. Let's see what we got going on. I'm trying to think. You know what? Not too loud. Just something to kind of keep the ambiance, I guess. As I would like to call it, ambiance. Did I get that one? I did get that one. Okay. I was trying to pull the Sword of Omens out, and it was wrapped around it too. It's like, geez. Let's get back over here. I'm not playing any K-pop Demon Hunter. I'm not gonna get flagged. I'm not playing no K. I'm not putting that on here, silly woman. I know you're obsessed with the, chaos, but like I don't see enough of that on my feed at the moment. So let's see here. We got that one. Is everything nipped? It looks like everything is nipped. I should be able to get everything. Oh, nope. Missed a foot. There we go. We just swept in here too, so now I'm gonna have to re-sweep because all these little cat pits are gonna be like all over my floor. So here we'll take a look at this Sword of Omens, which is a little bit warped out of the package. I can fix that with a little bit of heat. But you can see it's all mostly one color, except for the Eye of Thundera there. See if I can't get that to focus a bit. But one side is the cat's head, and the other side is just the eye. So that's cool. I like that. So you can pose it any way you want. That's neat. Oh, and of course I would drop him. Okay, so he. Oh my God! Where? Oh, that came. Oh, he popped out the package without his hair. That's interesting. All right, there we go. So right out of the box, he's in his Eternia. I think I feel well enough to go to Hobby Lobby tomorrow. Is Hobby Lobby open on Sundays? I thought they were closed on Sundays. I think the one up here is closed on Sundays. I know Michael's is open. I think we're gonna go down to see about how much it's gonna cost to get some frames made for some things. We're at Michael's tomorrow. So, all right. So let's take a look at Lion-O here. Have everything out of the package? Not quite. Almost have everything out of the package. Oh, shoot! His other hair in here is still strapped, and that's actually odd because it's actually behind the tray. So we'll go back to Lion-O here. So as you can tell, he's like a newer version of the Masters of the Universe Origins style bodies. Just looks like newer scope. I don't have any of the base figures except for sorcerers that came with the Castle Grayskull, the Origins Castle Grayskull. So I'm not really too familiar. Yeah, man, it's like that's one reason we don't usually. I got to step over that nipper. That's why we don't usually go to Hobby Lobby for the most part. I mean, they got the most, I guess, selection of stuff. But we usually just go to Michael's. Plus, I got those baseball bat display stands I like to use. Actually, you know what? We can get a better look at that too. For all that stuff. But yeah, so let's lower that back down. I'll get this all set up eventually. So let's go over the figure here. So we got Lion-O, he got his Eternia gear. And he's normal outfit somewhat underneath. You got this little headdress on, ball joint on the head. You know, got your hinge here pegged in there, and the arms, as all the other Masterverse or Origin, or not Masterverse, yeah, Masters of the Universe Origins figures can pop and swap parts between other figures, which is really cool. So as you can see, he has this kind of newly designed claw shield on here. It's got this nice pommel, battle harness over here, very Masters, and that just clicks from here. You got your swivel at your waist. You know, you got your ball joint here at the legs, and not quite do a Van Damme, but we got that going. Got swivel at the knee as well, and technically a boot cut because you can remove the boots because he has extra boots. Now, are they labeled? Which one goes where? Yes. That one's for the right. I don't know if it will show. Don't know if it should. No, something just buzzed. I think it's my phone. And I did not turn it on silent. No. But yeah, we got. If I can get it to focus. Yeah. So that's for the right leg. Oh, this one would be for the left leg. So yeah, when you swap them out, like I said, all the parts come off. You know, if the wrist comes out, they are on. Do they have a hinge? I don't think they have a hinge, do they? Let's pop off the hand. Make sure. Try not to knock over my soda. They do. They've got a vertical hinge on the right hand, and well, the fist doesn't have one. And I just had another. Oh shoot! Did I already lose pieces? Oh, it's on the tray. And it's a horizontal hinge on the other hand, which is just an open hand, so no other grip hand. Oh. So we got his hand all up, so the bracer can come off, and also the hair comes off. So no head swapping, but you can pop the head off. Hair just pops right off like that. You got a bald Lion-O, and you can pop in his original hair, which is odd because that does not seem like it works well there. There you go. So we got our original kind of Lion-O look. We can get to focus on Lion-O's face and not my hand. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and just start popping parts off of here. So we'll start with the head. Double barbell. Right there. Battle harness just clips on in there. Pop off by the waist, like so. You can just take that battle harness off. Knocking over other stuff. We'll go ahead and pop this claw shield off and the other pommel. And we'll go ahead and we will remove the furry loincloth. Pop off the legs, or at least the boots. Now, I didn't even mention this. He does come with a little instruction. You know, it doesn't really show you how to do it. It just shows what parts are for what. It says switch out parts to transform. But it doesn't actually show you how. It just shows you what parts go for what. So, I mean, it should be self-explanatory at this point, but, you know, there could be someone new. Yep, just pop the foot off. This was for the right. Yep, grabbed it the first try. Pop that on. So that's his new right foot. Put that back on the right leg. Now we can get it to actually turn because it feels like, there we go. It's one leg, left leg. Put that on. Now, I don't know if I'll do this for all of them. Probably will. Well, except for one. You'll understand why. I'm going to put this left foot into the peg. There we go. And we can reassemble our Lion-O here. Oh, almost forgot. He also had the belt. Almost forgot about the belt. How could I forget about the belt? Gotta put the belt on. So that. Slide that on. It's a very soft, pliable plastic, so should hopefully stretch over. If I can get it to go. There we go. There we go. Now I got it. Pop that on. You can take his other hand here because we took the claw shield off. Put that there. Put his gripping hand back on. if I can get it to go. There we go. Lion-O's head back on here. There we go. And we can take this little claw shield because there's this big honking thing. There's a peg sitting right there. So you can sit his newly designed claw shield there, even though kind of you don't want to put it directly on, even though it's pliable plastic. Could just have it lean back like that. And then we can put sort of omens, if I can say it right. Yeah. And then we have our more classic looking Lion-O, even though his hair does not seem to key, because it shows a groove here, but this guy does not have any grooves on my version of Lion-O. So, I don't know. I don't know if I got a different version. But, so there we go. All decked out. Now I have all this other Eternia pieces all just scattered over my desk. So there you go. So anyone else pick these up? Why do I still have that up? There we go. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. As you can see, the claw shield does also peg into the hand. I didn't think I mentioned that. But obviously no hinge. But it's a different design, which I'm totally fine with. Would I have liked a more classic version of it? Sure. But I think it works well for what this is going for. And this is going to look really cool with the Origins Castle Grayskull. Which I don't know if I want to bring that in here or not. I might. Depends on how everything else looks. So there's him. Still got to fix that warpness. Okay, so we got Lion-O open. I need to have a second camera set up. I really do. So next we'll go with the other. I got the hiccups. The other Thundercat, Cheetara, fastest feline in the universe. And on the back, just shows that her little bow staff that retracts or whatever. The small version, how it just comes right off the little wrist peg or wrist thing here. Go ahead. Get her ripped open here. Oh, this is not the back one to stay on there. And it's the same comic. Same mini comic, nothing different. Part 2. Hopefully Wave 2 will have a part 2. We'll see. And of course, her little instruction paper piece that shows, switch out parts to transform, parts to swap. It's quite a bit. Even though the wrist gauntlet piece that they show here didn't stay on her, because that's part of her normal outfit as well from the show. I don't know why they show it like it was just that. So here's the tray. I've actually watched last weekend. I was catching on Toy Daddies. They were doing a morning unboxing, and they opened up the cup to these two. I think it was actually Toy Daddy himself. So that was cool. I actually had these in hand, just hadn't opened them yet because I was waiting for today. Because this is let's open some toys. And I hate to or build toys. I think I might just change the title altogether for the Gundam build. I don't want to call it customizing because it's not technically customizing, kind of customizing. I don't know. This show would be a lot more interesting if I had people to talk to. That means trying to laugh at my own jokes. But I am really congested today. Come on now. This one does not want me to get a hold of it. I can get more through the tray than I am anything else. Come on now. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. So I got them all. I'm always second guessing myself. All right. How big is that? How big is that wrist? Oh, here we have her out of the package with all of her Third Earth Eternian outfit, which she has like the Eye of Thundera there in her headdress, which is pretty cool. Like the design element on that. A little bit of paint smudge there on that arm or something. We'll wipe off pretty clean though, so that's cool. Articulation are the same as He-Man. That's Lion-O. There's a hinge here on her shoulder, only goes about that high. There's a twist at the bicep, single jointed elbow, obviously. Again, the package says this comes off for a little wrist gauntlet. Both have horizontal hinges, I believe, on these hands, opposed to Lion-O with the vertical. You got your waist swivel, of course, the head's on a double barbell. Of course, then you got your ball joint here at the hips, single jointed knees. There's also swivel at the knee, plus technically swivel at the boot because they pop off. And of course, your rocker and the peg there, front facing peg. And again, like Lion-O and other Origins figures alike, pop and swap. So this one might be a bit more involved because there's no way of disconnecting the suit. There's no put a battle harness or body armor. Why can't I speak tonight? But we'll go ahead and we'll start popping her apart. Got her head off. Of course, pop the hair piece off. But then you can go through her other parts, like her fully extended staff, her weapon of choice. Launching through the room now. You got both her placement boots. I'm gonna get the hair out of here. Yeah, I got it unstrapped, but ooh. Watch the struggle get really red. That's great. Ooh, they got this thing in there good. I don't even know why they bothered strapping it in. There's her other hair. We'll go ahead and we'll pop down. At least these ones are keyed right, so that's good. There we go. That plugged right in real nice and tight there. So we got her head there. We're going to pop the arms right out. Just curious what the structure looks like on there. There's that. Okay. Pop the waist. Okay, so yeah, that's very pliable. So you can just take that and just pop it off like that. And you see underneath, the under torso. Got her basic leotard, whatever you want to call it. Just pop that back on. Pop her arms back on while we're at it. Pop her. I'm afraid to pop her foot off because, smaller figure, smaller joints. Easy to leg off. I'm afraid I'm going to break something. So we got the boots here off. Now we're just going to pop the foot. This is the left foot. So I have to grab it right off the bat. Now, Cheetar is a little bit difficult to figure out which side's the forward, at least in my opinion. when it comes to our regular boots, I think I figured out. Oh, maybe that's the cap. I don't know. At least it's the left, so. All else fails, I can just rotate everything around. Yeah, that looks right. Come on. There we go. That off. There we go. Trying to make sure which sides are thin. I keep hitting spacebar. I didn't mean to keep bringing that up. I've already brought it up like 2 extra times. Was going to go to IKEA today, but got busy on other stuff, so that didn't happen, unfortunately. Which is actually a good thing, because when I checked the website, some of the stuff we were going to go down to go get were sold out. So it would have been kind of a waste of a trip. But here we go. We got our classic looking Chitara. Let me put that out here. Yeah. Of course, obviously, it says to pull that wrist part off, but I'm not going to do it. But that actually just clips on too. So if you wanted to, you just clip it right off. So no extra having to take the hands off. No real need. I'm afraid to stretch those out. There you go. Chitara with her bow. That's cool. So you're there again with Lion-O and Chitara there. I may have to go out and grab my Ultimates to have a comparison, but not sure if I want to do that yet. But before we get to Mum-Ra, or Skeletor, as I should say, we're going to open up the first mashup version character with Battle Cat Man, they turned Cringer into an actual anthropomorphic being. So that's cool. Apparently this was also in like some former comic run. I think that DC had. There was a comic crossover back in the day. I wasn't reading comics again at that point, so you all can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe I saw someone talking about it. Open him up again. Same mini comic, so that's 3. Which actually, what did I do with the other one? Oh, there it is. Get that back. And of course, his little instruction sheet. Switch out parts to transform. Which pretty much you just make them practically naked. But most of the parts are already on them, so I think most people are going to probably keep this guy pretty much as fully. I don't see why anyone would change that. So let's see how well he's attached to here. Looks like he's only got a couple straps on him. Plus there's okay, just we'll talk about that when I get him out of here actually. You can't see what I'm seeing. There we go. I'm not seeing any other straps. Good. Least amount of straps I have to do. Good. Battle Cat Man out. Okay. So here we have Battle Cat Man out of the package. And he is really cool looking. I mean, obviously Mattel was gonna do really good work on this one. Now his helmet does come off pretty easy. So it's a nice Battle Catty Cringer head. I'll pop that back on for right now. Got the Thundercat logo on his battle harness. Again, same articulation as the other figures. But again, same pop and swap stuff. But the other accessory he has are these claws, which does it say exactly how? It doesn't really say how these go on. Looks like it just goes over because there's no like handles. Looks like it just kind of clips over the hand. So just he has 2 gripping hands that he comes with. So the weapon looks identical. So there's no left or right. So yeah, you just kind of put it like that. This guy's little claw hand thing, but they're actually coming off real easy, to be honest. There we go. The same articulation. I won't go bore anyone with the articulation again. If you collect Mo2 not classics, Mo2 Origins, you should be pretty familiar with that. You know, this power sword, instead of turning him into a mount, just turn him into an actual warrior. I would think. I don't know. I don't know how that happened. It didn't show in the mini comic how this works or how he becomes that, I don't think. I didn't read it yet. But all the parts come off of here. You got these all would just slide off the arm. I want to say, yeah, you probably have to do it back down that way because it'd be too hard to get over top of the shoulder articulation here. So you just pop off the hands, pull these off. Then the only thing you can't do is he doesn't have any extra legs or boots. So there's no bare boots. And he's got like black trunks underneath. So you take the loincloth, he's just wearing black trunks and furry boot tops, but no actual boots. Does he need that? I don't know. Anyway, but he's a cool looking figure. I really like him. I can't wait to set these guys all up with the Castle Grayskull and the Cat's Lair. Considering Cat's Lair is so much bigger since I don't have the classics Grayskull. I only have the Origins. We'll go ahead for the last of the Masters of the Universe X Thundercats. We have Skelraw, the ever-living evil of Eternia. And got some really nice artwork on both sides. One of Mumra here, Skeletor there, and of course Skeletor becoming Skelraw. And the fact that you can turn him from Skelraw to normal Mumra by just switching out head and some armor pieces. Just that simple. Adding some of those things there. Got the knife out. The only one I actually have to use my knife to cut the tape. If I can find the seam. There it is. I think after this we still have 3 more figures to open. And we're only about 40 minutes in. Would ask the chat, but there's really no one to watch it. What they're looking forward to coming out. Like, I would like to talk about the new announcement from 4 Horsemen. And then want to talk about that. But probably don't. So here we go. Out of the package, you got his wings that are attached here, and there are a couple things here. No mini comic with this. Is white. He's only strapped in by the feet, right around the ankle, so that's going to be easy enough to get nipped off here. There we go. The little ribbons up here, though, those are strapped on there pretty nice. All through all over the place. The head does not seem to be strapped on. There we go. I want to say that's all. The sword is not, thankfully. Sword of Plundar. So here we got Skelraw without this wing cape so far. You want to talk about the Jersey Devil figure. Well, I think that the second pre-order thing just ended. I haven't looked. I was gonna look today, but I did order that during the first drop, and they said it should be about there. They said it was on the boat, so got a little bit of plastic nibby on this guy. A little bit. I'll get it there. There we go. Looking forward for that to come in though. That's a neat looking figure. Can't wait to mess around with that guy. So here we got Skull Raw right out the package with all his neon green looking face, Havoc staff looking headdress there. And go look around the body here. Again, same articulation as everyone else. He's actually, he's just a little bit bigger than the base figures. Just a smidge. Not a whole lot. Looks really cool. I like the kind of grayish blue on the body, which is funny because that's both Skeletor and Mumra. You come to think about it, maybe Mumra is a little bit lighter usually, but that's really cool. Got the Mumra kind of feet though. I wish it would have came with separate feet. That looked more like Skeletor's because he had kind of like those web boot things, and they weren't like normal toes, so that's kind of interesting. Other parts from Skeletor, and I'll put Aiden there for some odd reason. We got his sword of Plundar here, which is really nice. Just looks just like from the cartoon. That's the only weapon. Plus he has this wrap here for the arm. It goes around his left arm. You got the main body straps, which also have parts that the wings plug into, which I still need to get that off of here. The Mumra skirt goes on here. Yes, Mark Hamill did. He actually voiced Skeletor during the Netflix Revelations and Revolution series, the one that was produced by Kevin Smith. So Mark Hamill comes in and does Joker for that. Oh, not Joker, Skeletor for that. But it sounds like the Joker for the most part, in my opinion. Just less jokey. But you definitely hear the Joker influence, like he did for Batman animated series and stuff. But yeah, it was really cool. I actually really enjoyed that series. I don't know why people were giving it hate a lot when it first came out. Of course, you got the Mumra head. Before we do any of that, I'm gonna get these wings out so we can put on and get these other things that seem to be strapped behind here. Unfortunately, I don't have the easiest time getting to these. There we go. Actually, that came out a lot easier than I was going to. Alright. So you got these little wing capes. Pieces are all plastic. Now they're reversible, so the red side facing, I guess, outward. I don't know. The red side is supposed to be for Mumra, and the purple side is supposed to be for Skeletor or Skeletor. Now this one's got a bit of a paint thing on here on the red side, which is really bad, at least in my opinion. So we'll go ahead and put, because we have him in Skeletor mode at the moment. Skeletor, I keep saying Skeletor. So that's what he looks like with his cape on the correct way. Didn't even go over his little booklet. If I can actually get it out of here. Yes, you could tell he was having a lot of fun, but Mark Hamill has fun in like almost everything he does. At least that's what I believe. I mean, how can you not? Like I said, I really enjoyed that. And the funny part is that Originally, it was Sarah Michelle Gellar voicing Tila in season 1. And I keep forgetting. I feel bad about the name of the actor who voices both Adam and He-Man, because I like the guy a lot because he was in. I really enjoyed Supergirl. And he played Mon-El. If you don't know about this actor, him and the Melissa Benoist, who played Supergirl, fell in love, got married, and Melissa Benoist actually came in season 2 to take over Tila. So, which is pretty cool. So here's his instructions. What you need to do to change the parts and make him from Skull-Ra to Mum-Ra. And then these 2 lovely cards. With that same beautiful artwork that was on the side. Put that on here. But when you flip it, put them together, if I can line it up here. You got Skull-Ra. Skull-Ra! So there's those. But one thing I didn't mention is like, oh, we're going to open them. I'm not going to take this guy apart. We're not going to swap him out because my girlfriend bought me another one. And I've already done that. So here's a comparison of both Skull-Ra and the Mum-Ra version next to one another. Because I had to have 2 so I could have them both set up. You kind of have to. So that was always my plan when I first saw this. I'm going to do that. Yeah, get the reversible cape. He also came with some kind of Havoc staff over his head, and his sword of plunder just fell out of his hand. No! Mess all over my floor again. There we go. Hold on that tight, Mum-Ra. But the sculpting is really cool. I like the kind of bandages are kind of a semi-translucent plastic, which is really neat. So, really can't wait to get the second wave in. I may have to go ahead and have that set up to start shipping out. So that's not all we have, though. It's not all just these guys. Not all just the Motu Thundercat crossover. Oh no, in the thumbnail, if you notice, we got 2 newest Gundam Universe figures and new boxes. To change up the design. And these are the only ones I've been getting as the Gundam Wing stuff. Because Gundam Wing is my Gundam series. If I ever notice any Gundam X stuff, I might pick up some of those. But right now, these have been ones I've been waiting on. Especially Epion and Wing Zero. We got the Wing Zero from Endless Waltz. Of course, no Tallgeese 3 yet. 1 and 2. But no Tallgeese 3. This is the precursor to Tallgeese 3 anyway. So we will actually start with Wing Zero here. Wing Gundam Zero. I used to open up these in a particular way. Let's actually go in the back here. Apparently highlights the range of motion of this figure. Kinetic styling. Durable construction. Now I've had some issues with bless me. I had some issues with my first Tallgeese. Part of the leg actually broke from where the little hinge came. I got it sitting in place, so that's all good. If you're not familiar with these, make sure you check behind the little back piece here. That's usually where they hide the instructions so they don't show. So here's the instructions of how to construct all the pieces. Now, as far as it looks like, this guy does not transform into jet mode, but neither did the normal Wing Gundam, so I'm not surprised. It shows how to construct all that, so that's cool. And they're in this nice tray. And the wing pieces here are actually taped to the back in a bag. And the Buster Cannon, the dual Buster Cannon. So those are all bagged up over here and sealed. so they're not going to fall out. Pull that tape off of there. I think I actually know. I did finally get rid of all the Gundam boxes because I've been saving all the instructions with the accessories. We see got a nice trade up in here. Got a nice little cover piece, keeps it nice and tight. And he has both his beam sabers. Wing Gundam and the Endless Waltz Wing Zero did not come with beam sabers. I opened my Real Grey Toge's 3 box to make sure it had the wire in it. And speaking of Gundam X, they're releasing a high grade Air Mass. Ooh! Yeah, that was a cool one too. I may pick, because I have a high grade. I have an original 1/100 scale high grade kit stored away. I need to pull those guys back out. I really enjoyed putting those things together. So here we go. We got our Wing Zero right here. And he doesn't feel really much different than what I remember him. I do wish some of these parts would open up though, like the other kits, but then again, these are not kits, these are actual figures. Yeah, they changed some. There's like some extra bit of articulation, it looks like, in here. Like right here at the waist. There's a bit more there. So you get a bit more bend. You didn't really get any bend. You didn't get any bend before. Oh, it's re-releasing? We said premium Bandai, so I think it'd be a better quality. I would say maybe an upgraded high grade. Maybe? I don't know. I have to look it up. I may have to bring out the old kit one day. Maybe we'll go like maybe we'll do a thing. Articulation on this newer version, because I think they changed a lot of the articulation on it, but I could be mistaken. He looks down pretty good. Looks like he has like a nice hinge here at the base, and it goes side. So nice. I think it's a double ball. Yep, it's just really tight on this guy at the moment. So double ball joint. I'm trying not to bend on these. Yeah, he has more range in the arms. They go back pretty far right here by the shoulders and forward a bit, which is going to be great for that. You put the arms like this. So it's really good for the holding the guns, the dual guns. Yeah, got the nice hinge for the side skirts here. No movement on the rear, but you still got the same kind of hinge here. Not a ball joint. I think the other one's like ball jointed, so it only moves up and down. Same with these. There's no ball joint. Well, no, there is a peg though, so it does move side to side, so that's good. So it doesn't just come out a little bit. Of course, you got the full rotation on the arms as well. Of course, it goes out as well. Take a nice look at that mechanism there in the arm. Double jointed elbow. Of course, the wrist is on a peg. These are fists already on here. There is some articulation here on that piece. You actually can kind of see up in there a little bit some of the bits of it. Like I said, you got an extra like little bend and stuff here at the waist to give it a lot of leeway up here. Nice here. Do they have it? Yep, there's a thigh cut, which is nice. Double jointed knees. And here you can see kind of the back part of the knees. Definitely better than what the Tall Geese one had. You got, oh, and the foot just popped right out of the peg. Right out of the peg, but up right off the ball joint. Because I'm messing with it. See if I can't pop that back in. Very shallow, so but it's got a nice little range here on here. It's also ball jointed inside that part, but it pops off the foot real easy. Real easy. No toe articulation, no foot hinge articulation. But all in all, yeah, I feel like you can do a lot more posing, a lot more dynamic posing with this guy compared to what we had in the past for the other figures in the series. So, which is really nice. I wish these had some articulation on it, but I mean, that's what we have the model kits for, right? That's cool. I like the paintwork on it. I like the metallic green. Everything seems to be nice and clean on him, which is great. Actually, every time I don't think I've seen any messy paint on any of the Gundam Universe figures, so out of everyone I've gotten, there's that. Let's go ahead and get the backpack off, out of the bag here, and get it put on. Let's go my pocket knife. There it is. Yep. Almost cut myself. All right. All right. So here we go. We got back here, which is all. I'm afraid to be too rough with this. Step out of the bag here. You see some details here. Now, these do pop off, but there's no hinge, so they just pop off and they peg in to have the open position, which is really cool. Makes it really sturdy for posing. You gotta worry about it flopping over on you, which my high grade kits would do all the time. So that's neat. You can just spray that out or spread that out. I don't know. Just place it however you want, and then just plug this one part in here. Just kind of goes right over that, which is really cool. Line it up like so. Detailing's nice. You got your little thrusters here on the back, and just pegs right into the back. There's two holes. Slide it in, and there you go. It's all built. Nice one hinge there. Probably have more like this for the most part. So yeah, that's cool. Looks really good. Other accessories. Obviously, he has a bunch of hands. He's got the, and see that foot popped right back off again. Is this going to be the pain for this figure? Is that one ball joint on his left foot? So we got that foot there. We got his cool ass shield, which is interesting. It's got a little ball joint here. It looks like that just pegs onto the wrist on his arm, which is cool. Just pop that right in that spot there. Got a nice bit of motion on it, so it just sits there like that if you're so inclined. You have his dual beam sabers. Now the blades do come out, but can you stow the hand? I don't know. Can you stow the handles in anything? Does not look like it, because I think they used to stow into the field, if I'm not mistaken. But no way of hiding the hilts for the beam sabers. But they're nice again. Really nice metallic green, which they use on all the other beam accessories for the other figures in the line, like Death Scythe Hell. Well, especially Death Scythe Hell. That one from Endless Waltz. That one had the same kind of metallic green. I think so did Shenlong. We got the little piece here that this attaches to down here, so you can use like a figure art stand, like action stand, or whatever Gundam stand things, whatever. Just plugs right into that, which is what I'm using. A couple Tanashi, like I say, Tamashi Nation's action stand 3s that I'm playing around because it wasn't being used. I currently have both my Endless Waltz Gundams, Wing Zero Custom and Death Scythe L perched up in like flying action poses. So that's for that whole mess. And he has 3 other pairs of hands. We have, if I can get them out of my hand, we got kind of action pose hands, kind of more like loose. We got a pair of normal gripping hands for the beam sabers. There we go. Just normal gripping hands, and plus a pair of trigger finger hands for the buster rifles, or beam rifles, or whatever they want to call them. I think it was called a buster rifle. Yeah, twin buster rifle. See, I had it right the first time. I know my Gundam a little bit. Let's go ahead and get these double buster rifles off. And here they are, already together. Now they can just pop right off if I can get them to, because they seem to be really attached to one another. This one having a second camera be very well. Like do well, very well for me. So there you go. You got that. Show you how to put them in the hands like so. How they should face. So that's cool. So there's, like I said, that's where the one piece goes. But yeah, it's really cool. So far, I really enjoyed this. Let's go ahead and just get his. Let's go get the hands on here. Let's go ahead and do. I wish you could just stow the. Actually, you can, can't you? Can you put these on the shield? I feel like you should be able to put these on the shield, but they do not. Missed opportunity, because they're usually, you know. I wish you could just attach them to the shield. That'd be cool, like it did in the show, but it does not work. So, alas. All right, so we'll get one of the trigger hands here. We're gonna put that on. Go and put that in. This goes in real easy. Not overweighing. They're not that heavy. The original ones on the. Dude, I got like little spits all over my chair. There we go. The original Wing Zero from Endless Waltz, that first one, he was one of the first ones to come out. And those, I don't know if it's just his joints were so loose or something, but did not want to hold on. Or like his elbows didn't want to hold in the position. But there we got that. So I'm not going to do any crazy posing with this guy yet, but kind of want to put a beam saber in his hand too. So we'll go and keep that. Put one of those. That hand on here if I can get it. There we go. Take on the beam sabers. Just slide that in there. It's not even a fully round. It's kind of a rectangular handle, so it goes right in real easy. So there we go. Or if I'm so inclined, I could just have them holding both of them as a double barrel gun. I wish you could tuck in the other handle, but this isn't the model kit. The model kits could do that. So I don't want to keep comparing it to the model kit. It's not a model kit. But yeah, so here you go. There's Wing Zero. Gundam, or Wing Gundam Zero. That's what the name is. XXG-00W0 as the number suggests. What do y'all think of this guy? Do you think I should detail the panel lines on these guys like I do with the model kit? Or just leave it be? I think I'm going to leave these be. It's so tempting. But I think I might just do that. Might just leave it be. I don't know. I may change my mind in the future. But I really like the fact that he actually has sabers. Beam sabers are the coolest giant lightsabers for giant robots. Love it. And like I said, I keep hitting buttons. Stop hitting. Things are just falling on my keyboard, hitting things. But there we go. Wing 0. Panel line and weathering practice. I mean, I did go through some of the wings. Like only one of the wings I built last week. Got some panel lines drawn in on that. I did not. This likes to stick. I did not do anything on here because there's not really anywhere for me to put panel lines on the interior feathers here. So I kind of just left that alone. And I haven't done anything in the gray because the gray, it might show up a little bit, but not super much. But we'll get back to that next week. So that was wing 0. Now we have the last Gundam to open tonight. Epion. Gundam. Epion. He was always cool because he kind of looked like a double-headed dragon when he was transformed. Unfortunately, he does not transform in this version. Again, get the range of motion, kinetic styling, endurable construction, Bandai Namco, all that fun stuff. Of course, if you want to, I didn't even show any of those. I should be showing those, but I mean, I don't have any affiliate links or anything. It's not like I can make any money off of these. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to have fun, open toys, and to some really smooth music. And just like Wing 0 here, it says instructions, shows all the parts, bits, how things connect. Got his big old beam sword. Wing pack is the same way as Wing 0 was. 10 little baggies taped to the back. Oh, what did I hit? There we go. I'm hitting things I don't need to. Let's try to get the bag off the back here. Some cool wings. Pull that tape off. Get the wings out. Why not? There we go. That's a little bit easier. So here we got just wings again, just same way the Wing 0, just kind of pegs to the back. They only kind of go up and down, and they kind of hinge here. So that's as far back as they go. Details get a little gray thrusters there. They do not move. Let's unpack. Open him up. Here's his big old beam sword. And I believe it said this comes off. Does it? No. It's supposed to? I think it's supposed to come off. I think the blade's supposed to come off. Unless they have a separate one. No, he has a separate one. Well, I didn't pull too hard. I don't want to break this. Here's Epion out of the package. I mean, he could use a little bit extra panel line work, but he doesn't have a lot of white on him, so don't know how well that would show up. Love the metallic green. Little metallic green accents for the eyes, the chest. Again, he's got a really good range on his head going back. That's insane. Look at this. See if we can get a close look. See how that hinges? It's insane. Now you can move the. Yep, just popped it off. Popped off the ball joint. Of course, when you can move it that far back, you can also move the head kind of like that. That's nuts. That's like the most range I think I've seen on any of these. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. Well, it had to be, right? Double jointed elbows. There is a, I don't think I went over the biceps hole. There is a biceps hole. Arm goes out. It has the same kind of range of motion the Wing Zero does, so it goes forward pretty far. One of his side skirting pieces, no, the rear skirt just popped off, which is interesting. It looks like there was glue, it wore off already. I don't know how that worked. Pop that back on. I must have put a lot of pressure on it to pop that off. I think of it there. Huh. Well, we got side skirts here. Again, I'm hitting all kinds of buttons I don't mean to hit. Side skirts move up again. Has a little bit of wiggle there. Front ones, no, they do kind of move a little bit left and right. They're kind of blocked by the crotch cover here. Again, waist range of motions, and oh my god, he bends back super far. What in the world? Is he missing a piece there? That's so odd. These are really pointy. These are like jabbing me right in the hand. Double jointed knees. About as far as it wants to go back though. There we go. Yeah, the boot's just gonna hit here. It's not gonna want to go far back, too far. Of course, you got the thigh swivel, double joint elbows, no wrist swivel, but of course there is the ball joint in the wrist. But yeah, got some decent range. Obviously, more range when you move it forward, where the pauldrons are out of the way, so he can do that. But I don't know why he would need to. He doesn't have any cannons. Doesn't have any guns at all. Alright. But he's got a lot of good range. Really enjoy that. He's just really pokey, really pointy. But be careful messing with this guy. Where's his pack go? There it is. Put that, plug that in on here. If it will go. There we go. This is a lot tighter fit than the Wing Gundams. Wing Zero. Do wish the claws had a bit more, had some articulation to it. That would have been cool. But it's kind of got a shimmery maroon. I don't know if the light's picking that up at all. But there's a little bit of a shimmer in there. So that's cool. Really like that. I just keep knocking into these. I'm afraid to like snap it if I get caught on it. Oh, but don't fall over. I keep facing these guys in the wrong spot. We're talking about falling over on my keyboard. I keep hitting that button. So again, we already saw the beam sword. Here, here's what I got the fist on. What we're really wanting to look at is this cool articulated whip shield. Which again, the shield part just plugs into his wrist. Then kind of plug right there. And then we got the little whip bits. Which do not seem to be super articulated, unfortunately. There's only like a couple segments. I mean, it comes in two halves. There we go. So you can get a decent circle on there, but that's about as round as it's going to get. You just plug that into a little port there. Little ball joint. There we go. And then we have Epion's massive little whip. Now he does come with a beam sword that does not have the blade. That just plugs in right here in this little part on this hip. So if you choose to not display him holding the beam sword, you can just have it just hanging there on his hip. Which is pretty neat of an option if you just want him just going around whipping the Gundams. All your Gundams' butts, like literally. see how well we can do that here. You gotta have it kind of pull back a bit. That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. These things are so pointy, man. I'm afraid I'm gonna snap these off, man. Wow. I do, like I said, I really love the metallic green they use on these guys. It's really just so nice looking. This has more of a bronze kind of paint with the claws and these bits here on the chest. And that's there's like 2 places of white right here, and of course on the faceplate. But beyond, it's great. Just be careful, do not stab yourself. And of course, the other accessories, he does have the same little piece for, having them on the flight stand. So you'd have them like a Shimi's Nations action base. A couple of trigger hand, which, unless he's stealing Wing Gundam's Buster Rifle. All right, man. You have a good night, brother. Thanks for hanging out for a little bit. Hope you feel even better tomorrow, man. Of course, then we got, of course, his 2 normal gripping hands for the beam sword. You can have it holding either the left or right. If I can get him out of the package. Why is this one not going out? There we go. Couple gripping hands. They're pretty much the exact same hands that were on Wing Gundam. It just, they're gray instead of like a black. So they're a lighter color. They look pretty much identical. And of course the same kind of posing hands, kind of sprawled out. So you can do some cool ass stuff with that. So we can pop that off. Pop that on. So if I was so inclined. See if I can't get that pose back how I wanted it. Kind of like something like that, maybe. Or maybe further back on the hand. Conveying some motion. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's pretty neat. There we go. Let's get that knee up a bit more. There we are. So we got Epion. So I have some ideas. I may have to see if I can't source some other stands. Most of my other figure art stands are all being used for my Rangers and my DTOF, so I don't know. I may have to source one of those out. Sit him back. Kind of nice and neat. And we actually have one more figure to open, which was not a big bad toy store haul, but my girlfriend actually picked this up for me last weekend because I needed an Alfred for my Batman display. So we got the McFarlane DC Batman Classic TV series figure, which has a little bit less articulation than the Multiverse, but they're still in the same scale. But this is Alfred from the 60s series. He comes with the bat phone and a duster, which is cool. I wanted to pick up the DC Multiverse Ultimate Alfred, but I only saw one in store when it came out back when Mattel still had the license. And unfortunately, it had 2 Alfred golf heads and no 60s Alfred head. And I was still super bummed about that. I think I might still have the picture on my phone somewhere. I know when I had my initial Instagram, I had it on there. Of course, there got that because I do have that Batcave diorama set piece. I do not have a '60s Batmobile though. Still kicking myself for not getting that Mattel version. But here we got the Bat phone. It does come on down a little bit. Interesting how they have the cable kind of like that. So I guess you can just have it wrapped around the hand. Almost like a little handle so it doesn't fall off. So that's kind of a neat idea. Probably won't use this one because I have more of a translucent one that came with the Bruce Wayne Mattel one. Because I do have the '60s Batman from that whole thing. I didn't get the Batmobile though, but I do have that, and I had the 3-pack with Batman, Robin, and Batgirl. Here's a little duster. But you can see that in my Instagram photos. I'll try to do some kind of. I really need to get my head back in the game when it comes to these. I keep saying I'm gonna do a tour video, but the house just keeps getting more and more distraught because we keep trying to help things, and it seems like we're getting really behind. But we'll get there. We're definitely gonna get there. A lot sooner than I thought we were going to. Well, actually, not sooner. A lot later than we wanted to. But we're fine making some headway. Here we go. Alfred Pennyworth from Batman '66. Classic TV series, McFarlane Toys. He's nicely painted. Again, only single jointed knee. Really ratchety, which is good. He's going to hold a pose pretty good. No ankle articulation. No, I mean there's a slight movement here. There is a twist at the knee. I don't know why you would need to twist it there. Legs only go forward or back. There's no side hinge. No. So these are very limited. The shoulders do go out though. There is a hinge here. Is that a hinge? Yes, that looks like a hinge. Or is that not? Oh, that is a hinge. This one's just really locked in. There we go. This one moves a lot easier on Alfred compared to his left arm. No bicep swivel, single jointed elbow. Just a ball joint on the head. No barbell, just single ball. Looks up pretty good. That's as far down as he's gonna go. Maybe left, maybe there. But, you know, you get a little bit of tilt. But he looks really good. Not sure if he looks much like the actual actor or not, but it will work for what I need him to work for. And he'll go into that display. Again, no ab crunch, no nothing. I mean, is he supposed to? I can't tell. But this coat is over top. And I'm sure customizers can pop everything off, and they probably already looked underneath. I'm sure they've used this body for other characters. Probably Bookworm, maybe. I think that used the same body, but I could be mistaken. So I have no idea. This is the first of the McFarlane's 66 line that I have, besides the Batcave diorama. Still want to get that Wayne Manor set. I can do without the villains layer, only because I don't have any of the 66 villains, which seems like a missed opportunity, but yeah. So there we have it, guys. We've been an hour, almost an hour and a half into it. Kind of went through these guys pretty quickly. If you have any tips on how to fix the bit on my model kit, let me know. My girlfriend has an idea. We'll probably just go with that, but leave it in the comments if you're watching this on the replay. If you made it this far, thanks. I appreciate it. But we're going to head on Alpha here. Again, thanks for everyone who hopped in and said hi, and we will see you all next week, where we will hopefully have this Gundam fixed and hopefully finish the build. I will just stay up all night if I have to, finishing all the rest of these pieces. So hopefully that's the plan. Next week, next Saturday at 8 o'clock, let's build some toys. Let's finish the Wing Zero Endless Waltz model kit, 1/100 scale, version Kai. But until next time, I hope everyone has a good night. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your all's weekend, and I will see you all next week. Peace. Later.